Yeah, this is Rob J, and lately, Gotta Love the Soldiers has been getting some real great feedback. On MySpace, on WeMix, it was one of Luda's picks, and it's just a song that's really been a blessing. And the whole concept behind that song, like how that came about, was I believe, I don't remember the exact date, but it was the date that Kim Porter had her birthday party at Lucky's down here in Atlanta. And on the way to the party, I stopped at a bar, and I was just there, and it was this kid next to me who was getting hammered. I mean, he was just shot. I mean, I had never seen anyone drink like that. And when he was just right next to me, and I was like, "What's up, man?" And he was like, "What's up, man? I'm Max, man. I'm about to go to Iraq." And like, he just started telling me a story over why. I mean, it was just such a touching story. When I left that night, I put it in my phone. It was like, I met a kid named Max, headed to Iraq. From the look in his eyes, knew he wasn't coming back. It just came naturally. It was one of the easiest verses I'd ever wrote. But originally, I thought that was going to just be, it would just be like a snippet or something. Like, you know, I have an album and it might be like 30, 40 seconds. It'd just be that one verse about Max, met a kid named, and basically what happened as I was recording, I just threw the idea out to Zoe, the producer I was working with at the time. Like, hey, what you think about this verse? And I was like, so would it be better? Should I just leave it as that one verse, or should I make it into a song? And he was like, nah, man, that joint's hard, man. You need to make it into a song. So when I sat down to make it into a song, I wanted the Max verse was so personal. I just started reflecting back to my life and seeing, like, do I know any other soldiers? What experience did I have with any other people who I know that have been affected in this war? And it brought me back about 4 years ago to when I was in college, and I had a job with a guy named Joe, and he was like 19. He was back from Iraq, and he had went to the war straight out of high school. He was a sniper over there, and I remember talking to him, and he was like, the only thing that I'm good at is killing. And I mean, that was his trade, you know. And so the verse about Joe is real personal too, because everything that I'm saying in that verse about Joe is almost true, to the point where I met a kid named Joe, 19 years old, never had a drink, but he had killed before. He was an expert in rifles. He was a freedom fighter, best of the best, Delta Force Army sniper. He don't sleep at night, he roll over instead. Like, everything I said in that verse basically came from real conversation that me and Joe would have at this car dealership, where neither one of us was selling no cars. We just be sitting down talking about his experience at the Iraq War. And I think the climax of that verse on Joe is when I say, I like that part when it said, like, I actually think Iraq got nuclear weapons. He said, Rob J, you couldn't ask a stupider question. I don't fight for the men that govern, I fight for my brothers that left their mothers, that left their lovers. Basically, that's a talk that we had, because I really used to think that, like, soldiers cared about, you know, whether there's really nuclear bombs over there, whether we're right, whether or not. And he was the first person to really introduce me that, like, to soldiers, war is really about your brothers who you're over there with. It's not about, you know, what you can find and everything. And the last verse, you know, was just a compilation of me from the sideline, just kind of evaluating, you know, what I thought about it. And that's how that one came. Just, there's a war being fought, lives being lost, husbands being killed, wives being lost, and it just came natural. Like, after those first two verses, it was almost like, you know, my spirit just told me what to say on that, and that's where it's at right now. You know, it's doing well. Just sent it off to the Army, the actual, you know, their headquarters. Marines like it, and you know, I think it's gonna be a real big song, and hopefully if we get out this year, man, I could hear Barack Obama or something like that saying that in a debate.
Welcome to Art Life. I'll be narrating this album. I go by the name of Rob J. I just want to say rest in peace to my man Video Rob. Art Life.